Hi, folks. Thanks for joining me today. Um, Thank you for your patience with me the last few days. Today, I want to talk to you about what I want your lit review to look like. So, when we are done with this topic, it will help guide you a little bit on how your lit review will be fashioned. So, here I have a topic that one of you picked, a very good topic. It says how to reduce asthma symptoms in young children in America. Now, this is a great topic for a research paper. Okay. Now, I'm okay with this topic up until you begin writing your lit review. By choosing this topic leads you into searching literature. You start searching literature for how to reduce asthma symptoms in young children in America, and you come up with a whole lot of possibilities. Now, what a lit review does is you've revised literature, and from revising literature, you realize there are aspects of this that haven't been explored yet. Now, that is your job. Your job is to explore aspects of already researched work to find what aspects haven't been investigated, what aspects haven't been explored. So instead of how to reduce asthma symptoms in young children in America, let's say you find a few papers on diets or exercises that can help with asthma, and you found one that hasn't been fully explored, okay, or one that's not being investigated properly. Well, so let's talk about hormones, for instance. So I love hormones. So I could write a topic such as possible effects of thyroid hormone and, let's say, growth hormone. Let's not use growth hormone, and serotonin on asthma reduction in young children in America. Okay, so what you've done here is that you found an area that hasn't been explored, or an area that has been explored, but you still have more questions to be asked. So that's the key, something that all the answers haven't been gotten yet. So possible effects of thyroid hormone and serotonin on, on asthma reduction in young children in America. So find a topic, then explore an unexplored area of it. All right, so I will be grading in detail the ones that you've turned to me. Please, if I notice that your topic hasn't evolved, then I'm going to send it back to you for you to evolve your topic. All right, let's do this. All right, so this is a good topic. So let's take another example. Okay, I worked with insulin, and my original topic is what is the effect of insulin in the uterus? Now, this is a good topic because we don't know much about insulin in the uterus, but I went specific. I said effects of insulin and steroid hormones on glycogen synthesis in the mink uterus. Okay, so now I'm exploring something specific. Insulin and steroid hormones, glycogen synthesis in the mink uterus. Very specific exploration. All right, so please try rewriting your topics and see how it works. All right, so now let's move on to the meat of the paper, the meats. Let's look at my lit review here. This was a lit review I wrote a few years ago, and I want you to take a look at it. So when I say I wanted you to create an outline and possible subtopics, here I have all the subtopics I picked out to be able to explore the effect of insulin and steroid hormones. I have my overview, as you can see, and I have what we call, I wrote a topic on window of implantation, which is when implantation happens in the uterus. Then we have glycogen metabolism. We have endocrinology of insulin. These are basic information on just how insulin works, what organs it targets, okay? How insulin is secreted, what the receptors of insulin are. Everything that's basic towards understanding the topic that you've chosen. Then I went from these basic topics, I started combining topics. So now I go from action of insulin to action of insulin and glycogenesis. So I combine this with this. Now, does insulin affect glycogenesis? Then I went specific into hepatocytes, liver cells, and then muscle cells, and then fat cells. Now, the reason this is important is because I wanted to talk about uterine cells. But for me to get to uterine cells, I needed to first understand the other cell types, hepatocytes, muscle cells, and adipocytes. And then we have uterine cells. Okay, then I talked about the different isoforms of insulin. Now, some of these things I didn't know until I started studying and I started reading about it. So please, as you're reading, you're researching, keep your eyes out for new things that you did not know that you could easily add to your topic. Okay? And you can see, oops. Then I wrote here, I also wrote a little bit about the American mink, the animal in which I'm studying, and I wrote about how mink does ovulation and implantation, and how then if you scroll down, you see here interactions between hormones and insulin, and then insulin and the embryo, insulin and glycogen metabolism in the uterus. Earlier, I wrote insulin and just glycogen metabolism, which is right here, but then later I wrote insulin and glycogen metabolism in the uterus. So these are all my subtopics. So I want you to consider picking some really good subtopics and just get going with that. And then this is a page of citations of just list of figures. I don't expect you to have that. That's out of the scope of our class today. And let's see what else I can point out to you here before I summarize this. Now, next week I'm going to talk about the abstract. We're going to take some time to talk about how to write your abstract for your lit review. So I want you to remember that. And then let's come to the body. So here is the beginning of the lit review itself. We have the overview. So you spend a little bit of time writing the overview. And I want you to please take time to read what I've written in mine. And in lit reviews, remember, please remember, you are not sharing your opinion. You're going out and researching what others have researched. So in all of this, you find out that I have a lot of citation. Diskin and Morris, 2008. Norwitz, 2001. Norwitz, 2001. Kowalewski, 2005. Diskin, 2011. Falk, 2012. And then I entered into my next topic. Abrahamson, 1903. Falk, 2012. Diskin, 2008. And all we're doing is I'm reading all of these guys and saying this is what they said about these subtopics. So the window of implementation I read from Abramson and Folk and Diskin and Singh and Bazar, and these are the things they were able to say about the window of implantation. Where do they differ? Where do they agree? And what do they believe on the window? What does your research say? Phenylon, what does it? According to phenylon, embryo implantation to occur, they must hold true certain rules in different species. So Day 2004, Parrier 93, Murphy 90, Chow 2016. So please remember that your research is built on other people's research. Very, very important. All right. So I think that's where I'm going to start for today. And so for your next homework, and I think I've already given you the homework already, please take your time um, to read what I've written here. All I want is 2 pages of your eventual work. I just want you to read a few papers and start writing. I do not have any very many high expectations. Start writing, pick 1 or 2 subtopics or 3 and write about them. cite as many papers as possible. You can never cite too many papers, and you don't have to read the entire paper to cite it. If you find a section of the paper you like, you cite it, and then you don't have to read the entire paper to cite it. Okay? All right, I'm going to stop there for now, and I hope that this has helped you in beginning your research paper. All right, so thank you very much.